artist is saying something about the human condition, or about the experience of being a human, then the greatest art, I feel, has always been devotional art, specifically. And I think that that's something, if there's a high art or a Torah art, or what art is maybe in the way I understand what Torah has to say about art, it's Ze Keli Vanvehu, that the highest thing that you can do in expressing yourself is that Hakol Bara L'Chvodo. So if you're doing it right, it's giving greatness to God. If you're doing really good art, then you're able to do it through what God put in you, but it's bigger than you. And if it hits the right spot, if it's real and it's true, then God can express himself through it.
I'm very tempted to summon a quote from Victor Hugo, which says, art can lift people to the divine. And I feel that in the Jewish tradition, for example, through calligraphy, using holy letters, that's a vehicle, a means through which holy art can be expressed. And it's the same with iconography. There's also a saying which is, you don't paint an icon, you write an icon. It's almost like an embodied prayer. In the tradition of the history of art, there's always been this ambition, I suppose, to kind of pin down beauty, or to the different fashions, or you had the Renaissance, it was perspective, for example. But beauty is something that when we see it, and that can be very subjective, of course, it just alters our state and uplifts us, it comforts us, it gives us a sense of peace, harmony, belonging, and that's very important. I guess it really refreshes and renews the spirit. Creating is somehow an act of love. It's wanting to channel or to communicate something. It's building a bridge. It's trying to offer the things that you believe are valuable or beautiful or precious or worth preserving. So I suppose there are a lot of artists who try to define beauty on their own terms or according to their experience. And then there is more universal forms of beauty, ways through which people can agree, oh yes, so this is beautiful objectively because it has some kind of symmetry. I also believe that beauty can be about revealing the inner life of things, or showing how things exist, or showing a transfigured world. It's quite dynamic because the way you represent something can then influence the thing that is represented, and that's quite a responsibility in a way when you think about it, because you can represent something in literally any way. The way through which you choose to represent that thing or the content can either uplift it or dim it, or it can be a bit like iconoclast or something. So there's something else that channels through you, and that you try to participate in dialogue with. And it's very difficult to reach that state, but it's possible, and it takes a lot of patience, and it's almost like getting into a meditative state, I suppose. But for me, it's kind of like my way to access the divine. It's very much an excuse to kind of dwell in the divine, to try to reach beauty, to stand in eternity. And for a few moments, it feels like you almost reach that state, and it's a form of contemplation. I feel the act of painting is almost accessory to that. So painting is more of a side product, or creativity is an urge, it's kind of symptom or manifestation of that. But I think it very much comes from the desire to be close to beauty.